Howdy folks, I am Ruzkiel and welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. In the last episode, we evidently finished off Investigation for Chapter 6, and now we are going into... It says court prep. It could be... In either case, we're going into the graduation exam for Hope's Peak Academy. Evidently, things are still a little hinky. So, hopefully it won't be too terribly glitchy, because the trial had enough visual effects going on as it was. Now, the first half of the evidence that we collected seemed overall pretty straightforward. The second half got a little weird. To a certain extent, I don't know if I really grasped the importance of some of this stuff that was being said, or if... maybe I intuitively knew some of that stuff, so maybe it didn't hit as hard as it should have. I honestly can't say. But at this point, I think what it would be the best thing to do is to go through the evidence just to have an idea of what we have, so that we know what kind of, I guess, arguments we're going to go. I don't even know how the heck this is going to be structured. So... because it's not a typical it's not a typical murder trial. So, the Reserve Department was populated by Reserve Corps students who took general entrance exams, in contrast to the main department, which recruited ultimate level students, established to secure funds for Hope's Peak Academy. The 2,300 students in the Reserve Department were infected by Junko's despair and committed mass suicide. There was one survivor, presumably us, Hajime. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. The Academy invested all their resources to create Izuru Kamakura, the ultimate hope. Izuru was later involved in an incident in which he brutally murdered 13 members of the student council. Despite the Academy's efforts to conceal this incident, a certain someone took advantage of the incident to provoke the dissatisfied Reserve Department students into the rising against the Academy. Pardon me. So... As a point of interest, Izuru Kamakura is also the name of the founder of Hope's Peak Academy, so it's possible that this could be like his kid, and the reason he set up the academy was to basically research and cultivate him, because he believed he was going to be the true hope of the world, and then ended up killing people, and then, like any father, he would try to cover it up, I suppose. And the certain someone who used the incident to provoke the Reserve Department, Junko, which is part of our list of evidence that we'll get to in a second. The tragedy is a hopeless event that was caused by a group known as Ultimate Despair. It was responsible for completely destroying Hope's Peak Academy. Through their utter devotion to a certain person, they brainwashed the masses and filled countless people with despair. The Ultimate Despair is the term that was adopted by the group responsible for causing the tragedy. But in actuality, it originally referred to a certain female high school student named Junko Enoshima. However, Junko killed herself at the climax of the Killing School Life after she lost to the students of Hope's Peak Academy. Good lord, that was a hard enough sentence for me to finish. Killing School Life. As part of the tragedy, Junko Enoshima forced the students of Hope's Peak Academy to kill each other, filmed their deeds with the school's surveillance cameras, and broadcasted it to the entire world. That's pretty familiar to anyone who's played the first game. The Academy's survivors, according to the report from the Future Foundation, there are apparently 15 people who are known as survivors of Hope's Peak Academy. It seems that all 15 survivors were safely taken in by the Future Foundation, presumably our group of students. The Remnants of Despair. Even after Junko Enoshima's death, an influential group known as the Remnants of Despair still exist. Unless they are stopped, the tragedy will never end. That's kind of a short thing, considering how often it was updated. The list of subjects. Everyone's names are written under this list of subjects. The list is written on a clip newspaper article. Well, it was written on a blackboard, but whatever. But there was a newspaper article that showed a woman who looked like a fully grown version of Hyoko Saionji. The founder, the placard on the portrait hanging in the office said, Hope's Peak Academy founder, Izuru Kamakura. I went over this when we talked about the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. The Hope Cultivation Plan. For many years, Hope's Peak Academy attempted to create true hope by consolidating the results of all their research. That kind of went back to what I talked about during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. So I got a lot of that information. I explained a lot of information in that one bullet point. Email to Makoto Naegi. Where are you guys? What are you doing? What you're doing is a serious act of treason. Do you understand why you... Do you understand? Why are you protecting the remnants of despair? It should be abundantly clear how dangerous they are to keep these... How dangerous it is to keep these people alive. Stay calm. Think about this carefully. You guys are being lied to. Think carefully about what's important to bring the light of hope to the world. The 6 of you joined the Future Foundation because you agreed with our ideals, right? Future Foundation rescued you from the tragedy, you survived, and helped you recover your memories. Immediately return the remnants of despair to our headquarters. Unless we eliminate them, the tragedy will never end. Everything is for the sake of a future filled with hope. Now, I get the feeling that the 6 that they refer to, let's call them... I don't want to call them the survivors of the Killing School Life. We'll call them the survivors of the Killing School Life. Took the remnants of despair, which at this point I am assuming is our school group of 15 students, and hid them away to use this, the Neo World program, in order to turn our life around. Wipe away the memories that led to our fall into despair, and try to recreate us as beings who could contribute to the future. The Neo World program itself was created by the Future Foundation. It allows its subjects to experience a synthetic virtual world. It can replace memories formed in the real world with information contained in the synthetic virtual world. Therefore, it is possible to undo trauma sustained in the real world through the use of the virtual world. It was a program for creating hope, but it became filled with death and violence after the virus infected it. I don't know, I assume we'll get into it, but in case it doesn't, it sounds like the virus was uploaded manually into the program. So either someone betrayed the Future Foundation, some internal member betrayed the Future Foundation, or when we were taken by the Future Foundation, one of the 15 students uploaded it at that time. Wouldn't surprise me if it was Nagito. He really is a bastard. At this point, I just blame everything on him. The observers. In the Neo World program, 2 observers take on the role of a teacher and a student, respectively. An enormous amount of authority is given to the teacher observer, including the power to create rules within the program. The 11037 is the password to enter the ancient rune. Even the teacher doesn't know it. For the person who set up this password, the number is very meaningful to them. The shutdown sequence is a special command that can be used during the graduation exam. If you use this, you can override the observer and forcibly escape from the Neo World program. Not even the teacher observer can prevent that. Now, one thing that I noticed that it doesn't say here is during the conversation with during the secret conversation that Monokuma couldn't listen in on, the entity, the being, whatever you want to call it, mentioned that we would need half the students, which also applies to the majority vote for graduating or the repeating the process. So it's going to be interesting to see what this shutdown sequence actually entails. The origins of the Future Foundation. To combat the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy were among the many who established the Future Foundation. Okay, and that is it. So, I guess give me one quick second. So, skills have all been set, so I think we are ready to proceed with this class trial, the graduation exam, whatever we're going to be calling this.
I did say I wanted you guys to know the outside world, but this is still a questionable starting topic. Let me ask you this. What is this world's true identity?
Huh? This world's true identity? What kind of question is that? So, how much does everyone else know, I wonder? So this world's true identity, if I answer this, it will be true. And that lie will become the truth. But there's no way I can leave it unanswered. Oh, we are not seriously starting with Oh, you some bitches. Wow, this is flying. I'm gonna assume virtual. what do we got here? Bird Jewel. Damn! Oh my god. I need an A. There's my A. Good lord. It took... Whew, man, that was fast. Good lord. Ugh, okay, sorry about that. At least it was an easy word to figure out. I'll grant that. Wow, that was a pretty mean one to start with. This world, this Jabberwock Island we're on.
It's a virtual world that was inspired by the actual Jabberwock Island.
You were supposed to let us say that. Hey!
So, this isn't the real world, but if you want, you could call it the game world. You get it? It's all just one big game.
Are you friggin' serious? Okay, so evidently not too many people figured this out, which is unfortunate. Don't fucking mess with me, you bastard! Did you have us all come here just to tell us this bullshit? If this is a game, are my words being displayed in a text window right now? Nice.
Ah, that's stupid! There's no way that's even possible! I know, the all-in-your-mind trope makes you feel such cruel despair.
Mostly I'm just annoyed.
But who cares? I've revived all the suspense and mystery with just one line. 'Cause it's a game!
Then we were forced to kill each other.
'Cause it's a game.
A lot of crazy shit happened.
'Cause it's a game.
We're the only people here.
'Cause it's a game.
Monokuma's nonsensical abilities.
'Cause it's a game.
Don't fuck with me. That's not even possible. Okay, guys. Let it go. Move on. I won't say it.
I know you guys are pissed, but you were having fun too, right? A world where anything goes only exists in games. So, just force yourself to accept it. This closed space, this game world, was the true stage of this killing school trip.
Just stop. There's no way. There's no way I'm gonna believe that.
Back in the day, people must have reacted the same way when they first saw the airplane take flight. But like wearing contact lenses, it'll stop feeling strange once you get used to it.
Please do not compare reality to contact lenses.
I mean, if this really is a virtual world, what does that make us?
You'd better not say we're fictional characters.
The Future Foundation created this world using a program called the Neo World Program.
Oh wow, we are actually in pods. How about that?
It's programmed to place the user in a virtual world by synchronizing directly with the user's brain. Which means your bodies still exist in the real world. But right now, you're completely submerged in the game world, as if you're dreaming or something. Simply put, you're, not aviators, but...
You mean avatar, right? An existence created in the game as a copy of the user's real body. But we're not just regular avatars, right?
Your avatars were constructed by removing a specific thing from your bodies in the real world.
What did you remove? School memories. I'm assuming that's what they're going for. Memories prior to entering the school. No. School memories. Talents, we kept that. Memories of families, kept that. And everything before the school we kept. So yeah, it's got to be the school memories. Simple enough. Although, I still postulate that there's a little bit more after it that they took. What was removed from us was our school memories, right?
Which means we're avatars that were created from our memories from before we entered the academy.
So that's why we don't have our memories of our lives at Hope's Peak Academy? Don't talk like that. Like, we're made from memories of the past? Like, we're avatars? Like, this is a game world. How do we end up talking about this sci-fi crap? I'll never believe it.
How many times do I have to tell you? It's not sci-fi, it's a game.
This world is a virtual reality created by a computer program. We can't proceed if we don't accept it. Is believing him really the only thing we can do? So we got some sort of argument. Wow, so what's with all the extra stands, I wonder? Oh gosh. Okay, so subject. Wow, that is a lot of stuff. Okay, so we got the Reserve Department, Tragedy of the Academy, the tragedy itself, Killing School Life, Remnants of Despair, list of maybe the list of subjects. Is there any evidence that this is really a game world? You are the evidence. And so what exactly does that mean? Your avatar is made of memories from before you entered the school, but your actual bodies in the real world are different. What do we got here? Though you have no memories of your time living in your school. Okay, it's not that one then. You lived that life. Okay, we can shoot that one if there's nothing else. What game world? What avatar? Human being with a real body. I like the first consent statement with the list of subjects, because that is the one that shows that there's versions of us that are different than what we see here in the game world. So let's just try that. That's my best guess, and it seems to, in my mind, it seems to make some general sense. So not necessarily that one. Live that life. Okay, got it. Nice. Alrighty then. That's pretty good. I'll take that. Earlier, in the teacher's lounge, I found this strange newspaper clipping. Yep, with the older Hiyoko. There was a picture of Hiyoko, but she looked more like an adult than the Hiyoko we knew. Like an adult? What does that mean? Since we're avatars right now, we look exactly as we did before we entered the school. But in the real world, we've already lived out our school lives. Which means we've grown that much older, and among us, some aged so much we didn't recognize them. Are you saying that happened to Hiyoko?
It appears Hiyoko had a growth spurt during the school year. Looks like the other shorty graduated, Fuyuhiko.
I can't believe that! You're just making shit up.
But if you guys only had memory loss, your body still should have grown during that time, right? So, you should have felt your bodies go through growth spurts. But why didn't you guys recognize each other?
Because we did not know each other before we lost our memories.
If we all met after we lost our school memories, it's no different than meeting each other for the first time. Since we didn't know each other before that, we wouldn't have noticed how much we've all grown.
Okay, kind of a strange general topic of conversation. I mean, at this point I was just saying lines, I wasn't really following what was going on. I'm assuming it's not too terribly important. I mean, I get the general sense, but it seems like they're kind of validating the statement and the situation for themselves rather than really progressing with much of anything. No, oh, great. Never mind then. That was important. You know what? I'm going to go ahead, end it off here, and in between, I'm going to go back and read that and see if I can't make sense of what direction we might be going with that. So, in the next one, we'll continue the graduation exam. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.